When exploring culinary Puerto Rico, what better place to start than a market? And who better to serve as our guide than Wilo Benet, a graduate of the Culinary Institute of America and one of the island's premier chefs, whose restaurant Pikayo is a beacon to all who visit in search of the tastes of Puerto Rico. He'll give us a basic course in the Puerto Rican market basket at the Plaza del Mercado, a small but lively market in the Santurce area of San Juan. Here, we get our first look at the bounty of this region, where sometimes the freshest ingredients, like bananas and avocados, are growing outside the back door.
Lots of things going on around as it's getting close to the weekend, but here we are. And this is actually Plaza del Mercado de Santurce, which is the principal produce market where you'll find all the staples and certainly all the ingredients to cook most of the traditional Puerto Rican recipes. So let's take a look. Actually, let me show you one of these things that we're going to be using in one of the recipes later on. Actually, the ají dulce, which is funny because sometimes, and most of the times, they are sweet, but from time to time you find one out of nowhere that will really bite you good. And then we have these, which are called caballero chilies, which are the most traditionally used for making hot sauce, or pique, as we call it, which are usually presented in glass flasks. Then another one of the particular peppers of the culture is the Cuban pepper, which is elongated, a little bit more herbaceous. Definitely one of the things we'll use to make sofrito later on. It'll give it a very particular taste. This is the local avocado, which is a little bit bigger, not as creamy and as oily as, say, Hass avocado, for instance. So kind of a little bit more on the watery side, if you will. Avocado very popular here as a side complement. You know, you get like root vegetables and salt cod and a slice of avocado with some olive oil and salt. You're asking me about the chayote squash. These are actually very traditional here, and probably it's the most popular recipe is they get boiled first, halved, pit removed, and then they remove all of the meat, kind of like mash it, mix it together with ground beef, lay it back on the shell, put it in the oven, sometimes a little cheese on top, and that constitutes the most popular recipe for using these. So here we have a great variety of the roots or tubers that are so important in our diet, and we use them all over the place. Like, for instance, you have cassave, which is becoming very popular in the States now for a variety of things, certainly make great chips, and actually great on escabeche. And then you have taro, as you see it here, this is called ñame, which is kind of like white, but it has a brittle texture to it when you boil it off. Then you have what is called tanier or yautía, and then we have the white kind, and then we have the purple kind, and it's kind of like a light purple. You know, it's not like deep purple colors. Same flavor, just different color. Then you have taro, which the Chinese use tremendously, so we're no exception to that. We have regular potatoes and sweet potatoes, and finally we get to what I feel is the king of all tubers, which is called apio. And if you are to translate this to English, it would be celery. I don't know why they call it that, because it's not celery root, but probably it looked like it at some point, and that's where it comes from. But it is the most expensive, the less yielding, the hardest to peel. However, I think it's got the most distinctive flavor. And like my friend Michael Lamonaco said, has a little bit of kind of like artichoke of flavor, like Jerusalem artichoke, or even like regular artichokes in some ways. A little cod, a little avocado, some pieces of this, and a good olive oil and salt, and we're all set.
The Plaza del Mercado is the equivalent of a small neighborhood market. It's a place to meet neighbors for a chat and a beer, or maybe purchase a lottery ticket while selecting the ingredients for the night's dinner. The Rio Piedras market, San Juan's major market, has a brisker pace, one that speaks to markets as hubs of commerce and industry. There's no time for a leisurely stroll here. We meet up with chef and restaurateur Alfredo Ayala, one of the innovators of the Nueva Cocina Puertorriqueña, who introduces us to more of Puerto Rico's produce, including the West Indian cooking pumpkin known as calabaza, chilies, okra, and seasonal treats like gandules or pigeon peas that are being shelled in time for Christmas use in a special version of rice and beans called arroz con gandules. there are also the banana leaves that will be used to wrap the holiday pasteles, a savory mixture of diced pork meat, beans, and yautía masa that's wrapped in a banana leaf. At the Rio Piedras market, we learn that some markets in the region are not only shopping spots, but are often major eating spots as well. In Rio Piedras, the stalls on the edge of the market offer patrons samples of traditional specialties like roast pork and the tripe stew called mondongo that is a well-known Puerto Rican hangover cure.